that'll probably work. Well, should we start it? Even if you're going live now, should we start in like 10 minutes? Get the link out there. Because there's probably not much point in starting now. Because, well, there's not going to be anyone listening.
Yeah, I agree.
We are live now.
We'll tell them, okay, we'll be on at
Nima's got the link.
8:45.
8:45. Give them a bit of time to get it
Yeah,
across.
get people. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pointless. Yeah, that's why it's not working. What a fucking... I don't understand why that's been turned off, though. It's ridiculous. You know, we always... It's not us, but I mean, as in platform-wise, there's always an issue with some sort of thing on a platform. It's just frustrating.
Well, we're going back to live to StreamYard after this. I never had this issue with them, so...
This is really irritating. Seriously. Like,
I'll pay their fucking $25. At least it works.
This thing was working before, you know? We had Zoom for, I think, maybe like 3 weeks.
I think maybe even 4. If you'd been with StreamYard, if the YouTube is telling you that it's been turned off, then it doesn't matter what you're broadcasting through.
Well, the reason it was turned off is because I tried so many times to start broadcasting, I'm assuming.
So as a precautionary...
That could be an issue. Yeah.
That's my best guess. It's never kicked me off before, so...
Yeah, that's possible.
Anyway, let's see if we can share the link out.
Now, by the way, your audio's gone way down. Your audio's gone way down. I don't know if your volume... Oh, that's really... Talk now.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's good now.
Copy streaming link.
Yeah, and then obviously we'll give people...
Now, Nima, are you able to talk to the people that are waiting on YouTube, letting them know, hey...
Most of them left already.
Oh, they would have left by now. It's bloody 35 minutes later. God. I'm actually amazed that they stayed on that long, to be honest with you, because if I'd been watching that for that long, I would have been gone.
Yeah, I understand.
Does somebody want to post that link out to the Anatad group? Let's see.
Yeah, if you want to flick it through, I'll check it through here.
Did you send it on Telegram or something?
I did.
Device unlocked. 8:30.
I didn't even hear it.
8:30 Telegram. 8 new messages from 3. Elapsed. Telegram. 1 new message. Received at 7:50. 1 new message. Received at 5:38 p.m. Deleted. Anatad Podcast.
Mute.
Received at 7:54 p.m.
Yeah, we have 37 subscribers, and that list is that group is continuing to grow. And for some reason, I can't stream from it now. That's fucking annoying.
So did you work at home?
Probably by tomorrow it'll be back.
We'll see.
Let's see.
The other thing is that live chat doesn't give any notifications to people, so unless they're actively looking at it, they'll have no idea that I've sent any message at all.
Yeah, that's true. I think the email may be the best.
All right, I'm posting this through to all the groups, mate.
All right, here we go. We've got 3 watching. Although one of them is for sure me.
On the news link you just sent, or on the old? Okay.
The other one seems to have 3 waiting on it still, though. Yeah, hello, Austin. Sorry about that. It did start. We are having a lot of technical issues today, so...
I've posted that through to all the groups. Maybe give it another 4 minutes or something, and then we'll...
I have not seen anybody that wanted to join in on Zoom pop in here, but that link hasn't changed.
No, I've been monitoring. That. No, no one's come through.
All right, well... All right, well, if you're on here, the one or two of you that are on here, we'll get started in the next few minutes. I'm just going to see if anybody else comes over from the other link.
Hey, Marco, I think you posted that link on Telegram, but not on the Anatad mailing list.
Oh, didn't I? Hold on. Let me have a look. Oh, the Anatad mailing list. Sorry, yeah, I'll put it on there.
Yeah.
That list is worthless. Has anybody ever come over from that list? We've got the same people, same 3 people. That I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but the bulk of the people are there, though. But I guess maybe they're all asleep anyways.
I'm about to unsubscribe, to be honest with you. It's just pointless. I think it's pointless. Anyway. Kind of over it. If I get one more person asking me whether they should buy the Samsung Watch 3, I think I'll shoot somebody.
Why? You have a Samsung device, you duckhead.
Yeah, I have, but I mean, you know, really,
Samsung device.
It's not with the Samsung device; it's with the watch. If they could actually create a watch that was as good as an Apple Watch, then I'd actually buy one. Otherwise, someone telling me, "Oh, maybe the Fossil watch will be good." Yeah, maybe I might win $50 million tomorrow too.
Slow. Okay, Austin, what does that mean? Marco's voice is very slow.
Why, is there a delay or?
It shouldn't be.
I don't know what slow means.
I think that's what that means.
Are you
Hello,
hearing
Judy.
it?
Hey, Judy.
I'm not seeing any issues with the stream. I mean...
No. I'm just listening to it now, and it sounds fine on this end.
Sounds fine to me. Yeah. All right, well.
We shall be ready in 6 minutes.
Oh, let's...
Oh, we might as well
6 minutes.
That would be 8:45.
Do we really want to wait 6 minutes, or we
Nah,
can just get started now?
If everything is fine, we'll just go ahead and get started.
All right. Ni hao, hello everybody, my name Nima, but I know Chinese, even though the people, the Anatad, the list of Marco say are Chinese. I mean, hello everybody, welcome to the 50th episode of the Anatad Podcast. Welcome, and thank you for joining us, and if you are Chinese, I'm very sorry for butchering your accent, but that's okay. Oh, man. If you're on the live stream, thank you for sticking with us. We did have an issue with the other feed. For whatever reason, we were not able to start the stream. But we are here now, and we're happy to be here. And this is episode number 50 of the Anatad Podcast. We're getting old. And I have one guest from Swahili and one guest that sounds maybe he's from New Zealand. I don't know where they're actually from. Hello, guys.
Hello, Nima. How are you?
Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata.
Well, we have had the most fun afternoon here for you guys, evening. We pretty much did what another podcast that has millions of listeners did and ran 40 minutes late. So it doesn't just happen to the famous ones, it happens to the infamous ones as well. So, these things happen. So apologies, folks, but we are here after a bit of a delay. And
Welcome
I think it's
to
a
the
safe,
Golden Podcast.
I think it's a safe bet, Nima, that we perhaps won't be using Zoom. The one and only time that we're doing it now, we won't be using Zoom for 51, perhaps. We might ditch Zoom, potentially.
Yes, I think so. It's a one-time experiment, and it actually worked in testing just fine without any problems. But, yeah, it seems to be giving us troubles. So, yeah. Let's see. Austin says, you are very quiet, Marco. And he also says they should buy a plastic watch. The guy from Swahili, I don't think, maybe, I don't know, can you afford a plastic watch? Whatever your name, Oren, is that your name? That doesn't sound very Swahili-ish.
Welcome, guys, to the 50th anniversary of our podcast. Yeah, Hakuna Matata, I don't know. Plastic is a little bit too expensive at this point.
What?
Yeah.
What, are you going to buy something with glass in the back?
Thank you. Now we're talking.
So we've got to number 50, guys.
Yes, we've got to number 50.
Well,
I think maybe one or two of us may be having a few drinks along the way. So
I've got a cocktail sitting here at the moment that's half gone.
I think so.
So if you want to, join us along, we're going to be here for a while. We're going to, let's see, what are we going to talk about? We're going to have a fun talking about some of our favorite apps.
And we've got to talk a little bit about our history, too.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about our history. I don't know. I start snoring when I hear history, but we're going to start talking about our history, and we'll talk a little bit about some of our favorite apps and categories of apps. Figure it's time to do that. And, I think I wanted to start out with, what was it? Well, do we need the explicit filter this time?
We might do at this point. I keep saying that checkbox is going to be checked, and it might have actually happened on episode 50. Yay.
Oh boy! I think what we need to do is we need to talk about our episode from last week because I wanted to allay some misconceptions. Yeah. Judy Jones was hoping we would see more from the Tech for the Blind list. Yeah, that list is probably more worthless than Anatad, to be honest, but I don't know, maybe not. Anyway, all right, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun here, and if you'd like to join us on Zoom and ask us some questions, feel free to let us know, and we can pop over the link. Send a message or an email over to me or Marco, and we're happy to pop that in if you want to join us on the Zoom or whatever else, since we're doing it this time. And
we could even put it maybe up in the comments there of the stream.
We can put it in the I'll put it in the comments, and if you want to join us on the Zoom, invite link has been copied. That's good. All right, now chat. All right, it is now in the chat. So if you would like to join us, please join us on the Zoom, and we can get your thoughts live on the air. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so if you want to pop in and talk, that would be great.
Let's go into a couple of things that we were talking about last week, I believe, with accessibility there, Nima, where we got fairly opinionated, especially towards the end of the show.
We did, yes, and I just wanted to be very clear. If you're a listener that uses iOS, the Fruitvale or Fruitvale,
the Fruitvale,
whatever it is. If you're using that, we kind of said, Android is basically terrible at web views, doesn't do web views very well, and kind of made it sound like there's not really alternatives to this kind of stuff. And I wanted to make sure that people were aware that that's not really what we were saying at all. We were saying, I want to be very clear about what I was saying and what I was not saying, because one thing to know is that I am an Android user, and I have been for 10 years. And if Android didn't work for me, then I wouldn't be on the platform. What I was saying is I think web views, frankly, suck. And they need a lot of improvement. And the iOS web views are so much better. And I think that if you want to use a Braille display, then you should probably stick on iOS. I stick to that. However, what I was not saying and what I left out is that there are alternatives and there are ways of getting around this stuff to make life less painful on the Android side. Now, my nice pal there from New Zealand, he said commentary was, one of the examples of ways to get around this kind of stuff, because in commentary you can you navigate by different elements and it's more responsive on the web, and that is true. Some other techniques and ways that we get around this stuff is we can use a browser like Brave browser to get around the add-ons. And I can tell you, if you don't have add-ons, then web views work a shit ton better. I mean, a lot better. If you want to use something like Brave, the other way of doing things is to use apps like Eloquence or @Voice to read a web page and skip the web views altogether, or even the Google Assistant. And that way you don't even need to read the article on the web page altogether. Now, it won't help you with forms to fill out stuff, but usually that's less of a problem for us anyway. The bigger problems we have is when reading articles with lots of ads.
And before somebody asks about how to use that with Google Assistant, it's a very simple process. You obviously invoke your Google Assistant and tell it to read the page, and it will just start reading. Because I'm sure that somebody will email or comment about that, Nimmer, as they did last time, potentially.
Yes.
So that's how you get around that. If you're
going to send an email, please don't send an email. We're telling you this is how you do it. Well, I mean, you can send an email, but this is how we do it. But if you send an email...
But don't copy my signature. Sorry, go on, Nimmer.
Oh,
you know
come
what?
on.
Let me tell you
Don't go
something.
down
I
that
had
road.
that signature for 6 years before you even dreamed of that signature, you New Zealand baboon.
Did you? Oh, did I copy it off you?
Yes, you copied it off me. Yes.
Damn.
Yes. Maybe you're the one who's Chinese. I don't know.
Is that what happens?
Okay, you two Chinese, tell me some lies, would you?
Well, I thought actually, Warren, because I thought you were turning continental because you were looking at potentially unboxing next week a ZTE phone.
Well, I got a Nexus 6 speed that I would like to unbox
no, that's...
just for
Oh,
you
wow.
guys.
How would you like me to send you ZTE phone? Very good for you. I will package...
You know the other thing as well.
Send it and package with a bunch of bats. If you like
You know,
it, I will
the other
send it
thing
to
it'll
you.
come with, Warren, is that apparently it gets preloaded with commentary.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, we'll send that to you.
We'll
Yeah,
pop
but
that in the
frankly,
post.
guys, you could use those alternatives to read your
Franklin.
articles
My name
on
is
the
not
webpage.
Franklin.
And if you're not getting any good results, you're not alone. But it's not to say that one cannot use web views at all. I mean, they're usable. I still fill forms with them. It takes a little bit longer than necessary, but it's not a smooth ride. That's all.
Well, I suppose the other alternative is you could use your phone as a doorstop and just buy yourself an iOS device. That's
Well,
a
yeah, and
potential...
there's nothing wrong with a rough ride either, if you
Well,
like those
no. No, definitely not.
Nah,
All
I
right.
love rough rides because I like the roller coaster,
Yeah, because that's what I was talking about.
Oh
my.
boy, this is heading into the unknown big time.
Okay.
It's
Let's
gonna
back
be
out
a
and go
bumpy
into the
ride,
real
ladies
McCoy.
and gents.
Well, I forgot to mention that if you're listening to this podcast, we definitely want you to like it, and because if you don't like it, then that just isn't good. So please like it. Hit the like button. Find like. If you're using a screen reader, it's probably a button, and you can use the B navigation to find like and there's also a thing called share, and if you hit that share, the share is also really important. If you are using TalkBack, you can swipe around until you find share, or you can go to the menu, or it'll show up there. Anyway, it's really important that you like and share, because if you like and share, then we can bring you more content. And this is, we do this for you. So this we can do crazy things without you guys here. So
trust me, this will be the wildest episode you hear since about episode 26, ladies and gentlemen. This is
Marco, don't go there. Don't go there.
Believe me, from 51 onwards, we're back to normal. Maybe.
That's right.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, it's a
maybe.
Labor Day weekend for us here in the States.
What?
So
I'm
we're
not
having a
laboring.
party.
Are you laboring?
Well,
I haven't been
maybe
on
I
one
heard
day.
labor is
for a
painful.
while.
Is labor painful? Why do we
Well,
celebrate labor if it's painful?
You're trying to be a commie baby. That's all. So
A commie? No, I'm not a commie. That's Marco for stealing my signature.
Hey, we
Oh
don't
my
need Labor
gosh.
Day over here because every day is Labor Day at the moment. We've stage 4 lockdown. We've got Labor Day every day.
Oh my gosh. So we're having a party. There's no reason to feel offended. It's just a fun time. And so please bear with us. But we're going to get to the meat of things, shall we?
Absolutely.
Nimmer,
meat of
let's
things?
do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the meat of things. So, would you like a ribeye or would you like a?
T-bone would do.
Oh, man,
T-bone
I'd go
or-
a juicy T-bone, actually.
I'll take some lamb chops personally.
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
All right.
So let's see. What do we have? Oh, comments. Judy says raffle. What's a raffle? Is that like a
She's
raffle?
laughing
A
out
raffle?
loud. Very hard.
Oh, yeah. Roll on the floor laughing. Okay, I would like to see that. If you can come on Zoom and we can get your video on, we can do a screen share and put it up on YouTube of you raffling.
Can you imagine the
Nah.
sound effects we get out of that baby?
Oh, man, that would be very good. Yes.
Ay. Yes.
Now that's my sis.
So,
She also
guys,
just shared it with the Tech for the Blind list. Okay,
We-
that's good. How about the Tech for the Deaf?
well, they might struggle to hear the
Nah, It
episode.
wouldn't make any sense.
Well, we can turn on auto captioning. I enabled ultra low latency
Ultra
streaming,
low-
so I don't think that
could be a
will
bit
work.
hard. Yeah. So, guys,
guys.
you've been doing this for a bit longer than me, obviously. Let's go back in time and see what
let's
we've
go back to
we've
history.
covered.
I know Nimmer is not a historian, but I am the historian. And
Oh.
but Nimmer, you can't forget the history. Hey, Marco, could you cut that pic off?
I might have to do a bit of editing to this episode, but not too much.
I love it. It's beautiful, man. I love it.
So there was
So
some
anyway-
very good history, actually, Warren. Speaking of history, I've been wandering through the archives lately. And I have to say that I was very impressed, and I suggest listeners go back in time and take a listen to the following 3 episodes. Episode 21, episode 22, but most importantly, episode 26 was a very memorable one, wasn't it, Nimmer?
Yeah, well, it's pretty good.
No, it was a beautiful episode.
Oh, it was.
I don't know what Marco is talking about. You know what I mean?
Well,
Not at all. He doesn't.
episode
boy.
21 and 22, at the conclusion, there was a commentary shoot or tutorial done by,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the gentleman's name was.
Our friend Aaron.
Aaron, that's who it was. But
Yeah.
throughout that episode beforehand, there was a lot of frivolity. Let's just put it that way. But in episode 26, I think Nimmer might have been struggling that evening with a cold or something, maybe a bit cold-ish going down the gullet, potentially. Because it
That's
felt like
okay.
poor old Warren was doing the show on his own pretty much all the way through, Warren. I felt a bit sorry for you for that episode.
Well, it
but
was good stuff,
it was.
No,
It was a quality
beautiful. No,
episode.
frankly, it was a
was.
beautiful thing.
It was.
Okay, so the history is that, well, we got started way back last year. I think March was our anniversary of Anatad.
Hurry up,
mailing
Boston
list.
says it's sleep time too.
Yeah. But in reality, we got started on September 12th. I'll never forget that. It was really rough. we talk about Ralph. No, that
Ruff,
was Ralph.
ruff.
Ruff, that kind of thing.
Well,
I
always
mean,
episode one is going to be the
what
hardest.
happened?
Marco, keep
was
your
that-
dog under control.
Yeah, thank you very much. What happened was that actually we opened it up to everybody on the Anatad Podcast, mailing list. And so we had 12 participants for the podcast. Well, I think only about 4 or 5 of us were available that day. And it just...
It went downhill from there.
It was not very... connectivities were the issues, and it just wasn't all that good. So
Well,
You had
we've
all
come
kinds
a
of
long
issues.
way. Yeah, we've come a long way.
Must be hard with connectivity when you're in Swahili. You have all kinds of issues there.
We sure had a lot of issues and things like that, but we are glad to be back to where we are. And frankly, we're not saying people couldn't join us. Anytime anyone wants to come on, they're welcome to. Love to have them as guests or whatever.
I must
the
admit,
case
I
may
did
be.
listen to one of the very early episodes. It sounded like somebody was out in the middle of a highway. It was quite an interesting episode. I think I don't remember.
Come
I
on.
don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was from India. But he did sound like he was
It was probably Ravi.
Ravi. I think it was. Yes, Ravi sounded like he was surrounded by vehicles. It was
Ravi. His last name is Oli.
No, well, Ravi was is Ravioli? Oh, come on. He's no Italian. Stop it.
It was round.
That's right.
No, that's my boy.
Who? Ravi boy.
Yeah, that's my boy. He's a young
I
guy.
thought that was Tabitha.
Tab, that's my girl.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
and she rears her pretty head in the Mexican podcast.
No,
No, that was Energy.
no,
It's the Energy Podcast.
That's Nimmer's girlfriend, Energy.
So
Okay, guys.
so it was a rough. It was a rough start. Did it get
was a rough
rougher or
start.
smoother as we went along?
Well, as it is with everything.
Look
you
at
know,
where
you
we
get
are
better,
today.
and look at where we are today.
We
But
started
today-
40 minutes late.
Yes. So these things happen, and sometimes it's because, unforeseen circumstances lead to such things. But we are learning, and frankly, we continue to learn. We're not, the professionals. Nimmer's always said that, and that's true. We're not claiming to be professionals by any stretch of imagination, but we're getting better. So I think that people have been talking a lot about OCR packages, Nimmer and Marco. I think
oh
maybe we
yeah,
should talk about
that
those,
chestnut
shouldn't we?
reared its ugly head again.
Yeah, it
on the
has.
Anatad
You know
list.
what? Let me tell you what. I think if we talked about OCR, let me explain this to you. We could talk about OCR every single week, the whole podcast, and the next day you're going to see somebody come on the Anatad group. Hey, what OCR app do you recommend? Hey, what OCR app do you use? Hey, can you give us a review of OCR apps? What the hell is it with blind people and their fixation with OCR apps?
I'll just give people a general.
because that's the only way we can read.
Yeah, but
know
I'll
what I
just
mean?
give people a general tip. Pretty much every OCR package is very much the same. Just keep that in mind, people. It's pretty much the same. The buttons might be in a different place, but they scan pretty much the same. They're all using the same technology. If you're paying for one, save yourself the $1. Just go
Thank
and
you
use
very
something
much.
that's free.
Something like Envision or something stupid like that.
Well,
Don't do
Envision's
it.
a good app, but I mean, if you
Oh,
want to pay
come
for it,
on.
that's fine.
So what makes
but you
it
could
what makes
use,
it a good app?
Well, it works. I mean, they all work.
So
but-
which one doesn't work? Now you're contradicting
Oh,
yourself.
There's a couple that
Envision
don't
is a good app, and it works
No,
very
Envision
well,
is a
and
good
and
app.
it's even
Oh,
a better
yeah,
app because
so-
it has the word vision in it, so it's a visionary. It's
Oh boy.
What's that?
Okay.
Google Outlook or whatever it's called. That's perfectly fine. I mean, just pick an app that's free, and it'll probably work pretty well for you. It's pretty much the advice.
We've
I'm
got
gonna give
lots
on
of
this.
these things, and they all, everybody wants this seeing AI.
That thing is stupid.
And you know what the thing with seeing AI? They got us started down the road of modes. And I've been struggling to kill off modes since seeing AI first got started. And we need to kill off. Hey, if you're listening to me, if you're a company, your product sucks until you kill off modes.
Thank you.
They should have killed that off a long time ago.
I'm telling you,
don't
everybody
need
followed in that
modes.
footstep. No, we don't. We really don't. And it's absolutely annoying.
If
You
you
gotta
think
find
about
this
it,
mode,
does your
find that mode.
eyeballs
It's
have
stupid.
modes? You know, when you walk down the road, do you have to stop and tell your eyes, hey, let me see,
Let's
is this a
switch, let's
product
switch.
or is this, let's switch modes. Come on.
Yeah, switch. I'm telling you, that's the
boy.
one annoying thing that I have found, with all of the apps, the OCR packages, and everybody seemed to just follow what the the
Shit, we
CAI.
lost one of our watchers.
CAI.
We did?
CAI.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
It must be because
well,
of you, Warren, going on about the history.
well, that's okay. If you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going. That's the problem.
No, you don't know where you've been. I think you mean you don't know where you've been.
If you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going. Yeah. So, frankly, we've talked about this at length, Nimmer. We've talked about this over and over, but it seems like everyone that comes up with an OCR package, they want to do the modes. So I guess they're here to stay for quite a while, just like the notches on the phones until ZT is trying
The
to
notches?
say, hey, notches.
What do you do with notches? What's a notches?
A notch.
I wouldn't mind a couple.
The thing at the
I
top
was just
of the
about
phone.
to. I was just about to say I wouldn't mind some nachos if that's what you're saying.
No,
That'd
no,
actually
the
go down
nachos.
quite well.
So until someone says, hey, it's time to move on from these type of things, I think we're stuck with these things for the time being.
Hey, Google, please get rid of us notches for us, please. Thank you.
Please.
I mean, not notches, the modes. Get rid of the modes.
No, they really CAI really needs to get rid of that. I don't understand why you'd bother. But,
No, cancel.
all right, so that's pretty much.
Yeah, so that's about it.
That's where it is.
For OCR packages.
The ones we can
just give
recommend,
yourself a
Google
lookout.
Lookout is a pretty good one.
It's pretty good. for what it is.
Speak is a pretty good one. That's made by that guy, Eyal. We had him on the show. He's from Israel, all the way from there.
From Tel Aviv.
And, yeah, somewhere around there, yeah. And that one's a pretty good one. You know, the Bixby?
Bixby's fine if you use
Bixby.
the
He kind of sounds
Samsung
like
speech.
a bigot or something. I don't know. But a Bixby, you know, you can use
Bixby
that one.
works fine with the Samsung speech. It's pretty good.
Yeah. If you have a Samsung, you can use that with voice assistant. Works pretty well. It does a good job.
Yeah.
And did you notice that the Sullivan Plus had an update? I think that was last week, and they had a new feature on there, basically like a real-time thing.
Yep.
It's not very good at the moment.
I got rid of Solomon Plus about 4 months ago. I actually find that to be slightly painful, to be honest with you. I think there's better ones than that.
I keep that. It's not too bad. I mean, it's the only one that we have that does handwritten material, though.
Well, there's others that do handwritten material.
Which one?
Envision AI. That's
Yeah, but
done
you have to
handwritten
pay some
material for a
stupid
year.
money for it.
Oh, you know.
Hey, Envision, will you consider giving us 3 people on the Anatad Podcast a free version? So we can promote it for you. We'd be happy to promote it for you if you give us a free version.
Oh, maybe we should have them come on as guests, should we?
Well, you
Sure,
might
yeah,
have
we
to
can get 'em
stop
on as
poo-pooing
guests.
their product there, Warren.
Well,
if
I'm
you
not
come
going
on.
to poo-poo that product.
Don't poo-poo that. Yeah.
No.
bad.
No one's going to poo-poo their product. I'm going to have them come on. I think they would like to come on.
Okay, so let's see. If you want to try out OCR apps, I would recommend that. If you want to try a really good app for knowing what's around you and reading the, what's in the camera view and having that interpreted, I recommend an app called The Voice. It's a very good app, so give that one a go.
Yeah.
And what that does, it turns your soundscapes into audio. Let's see, where is Marco here? What did we do with Marco? We got to unmute Marco, huh?
There we go. I'm here.
Oh, here we go.
What happened?
I don't know. Zoom kicked me out or something kicked me out, so I'm back. But we're all good. Let's keep it going.
But anyways, yeah, I recommend the Voice is a good. It does OCR pretty reasonably. But one thing that Voice does is it puts the audio into stereo. So if you have text on your right side, it's on your right side. Text on your left side, get it on your left side. And I think it does the idea of modes a lot better than other apps because you can check and uncheck anything that you want read, and it will be announced or read or whatever, and you never have to mess around with it again.
You don't have to mess around with it. You can, as you said, check and uncheck, and it's actually quite convenient. I do like it. Yeah,
and it does the OCR, it does the object detection, it does color recognition, and you can turn off the sounds if you don't like them, although if you should probably figure out how to use them if you want to do that. So, you know.
No, that's quite a cool app. Now, the other thing that we do get a lot of here, boys, and I think you would all agree, there's two things that there's lots of people that ask these questions. What is the best radio app? And what watch should I buy from the Android side? I think they've got to be the most common questions we probably get. So I'm just going to answer them. Oh, and another one. What recorder should I use to record in stereo? They would be the three most common questions. So this answer applies to all these three categories, ladies and gentlemen. Go and Google pick one that you like. Because anyone that you ask is going to give you a different answer. So try an app from either of those categories. If you like it and it does what you want it to do, keep it. If it doesn't, try another one because there's billions of them. I think maybe a third of the Play Store is made up of these apps.
And a lot of them work. So just in recorder apps, I can think of about 20 different recorder apps that I know and even have on my device that are accessible. I can think of probably about 10 or 12 radio apps that are also accessible and that have them. Now, they're all a little bit different. They all have settings maybe in a little different place, a little different format.
Some will have radio stations you can pick up from Israel. Some will have stations you can't. You know, it's...
But it's hard to go into these things because it's all about a preference, And the same with recording. It depends, if you're an audiophile, then you're going to care about a very specific thing. But otherwise, most of these recorders will record in stereo. Most of them will do what you need. Most of them have good interfaces. So recorders, high Q, amazing MP3 recorder, voice recorder. There's the Samsung has their own voice recorder.
If you type in voice recorder, there's probably 100 that'll pop up. Just keep scrolling through and pick one. One of them will work.
You guys, I think we're missing the point. The reason why people ask these questions is because they're assuming that there are people on here that have used this, and if you've used these things, what are your experiences?
But trust me on this, Warren.
So I think it's
anybody
not bad for
that you ask
these.
Nothing wrong with those questions being asked, but as soon as you throw a question like that out somewhere, you're going to get 100 different responses. And then you're going to go away and go, why the hell did I bother asking that question?
No, if 10 people say we prefer this, then that's for certain that this is probably a better app to use. But of course...
I agree with Marco.
No, I don't.
Well, I know you don't, but I don't. But I do. I agree with Marco.
I'm on the Anatad list, and as soon as somebody says, what recording app should I use, there's about 5 days worth of emails, probably 150 emails that come in. Oh, you should use Audials. Oh, you should use TuneIn. Oh, you should use, I don't know, MyTuner Pro. Oh, you should use bullshit.
The question that you need to ask yourself, and I think ask the list, if you want to post a question like this now, the question you need to ask is, what features are you looking for?
Exactly.
And if you say what features you want, what kind of interface you want, what kind of audio quality you want, what kind of stations are you looking for, then it becomes a little bit of an easier task to answer that question. Because the idea of just an audio recorder, there's billions of them, and a lot of them are accessible. The audio, the radio stations, same thing. Launchers even, same thing. They're all accessible. Not all, but a lot of them are accessible. Now, if you say what you're looking for, I'm looking for X, Y, and I'm looking for a specific radio sports extra or some shit like that. Okay, I use this radio station. I use this radio app, and it has this radio station you're looking for, and I like it. And it's a lot easier to answer these questions. If you just say, I'm looking for radio stations, this is what happens. And then people start arguing about, well, I like this one and I like that one. And it's hard to say which one is actually going to work for you because I don't know what your needs are.
Because unfortunately, a lot of the time people ask a very generic question. They'll say, oh, what radio app do people recommend? And if you just say that, you'll get 100 different ones, believe me. And you'll just be like, well, I should just go through the Play Store and pick one.
Right, and if you download one, and just because that thing works for you doesn't mean it's the best one, so maybe you might want to try 10 of them. There's no reason why, unless you have an 8-gig phone, one of those plastic ZTEs or something, there's no reason why you can't install 20 apps and just open them and try them for a day or 5 hours or 5 minutes or, install them and say, hey, okay, is this good? Oh, can I find what I'm looking for? No? Okay, kish, uninstall it. Is it what I'm looking for? Okay, good. But maybe there's another one that has a better interface.
Did you say
and
quiche,
I'm always,
quiche?
Yes, quiche,
I like
quiche.
quiche.
Yes. But you know what? I'm always finding new apps. What was that app that I found the other day about you can use your Samsung phone? You can squeeze your Samsung phone.
Oh, Squeeze
Plus or some
Squeeze
shit like
Plus
that.
or something.
I don't know. You know what? You can always find new apps if you all you do is just look in. There's on the Play Store, they have categories, top apps or something like that.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Side Squeeze Plus.
Oh, I like Side
Cool
Squeeze. My squeeze likes being squeezed.
Side Squeeze Plus. It brought Nima back to the Google days.
Well, look, if you have a Pixel 4a, you can't squeeze that thing. Hey, Google, why did you remove that squeeze feature? I never know.
Talking
Anyway.
about the Pixel 4a side squeeze, something odd happening with my regular Pixel, so I kind of sent it
wonder.
back.
It's a Pixel.
And so
you sent it back.
Yeah, I put it in the package today and
sent it back home to Mama.
Send it back. And so I got my Pixel 4a, and Nimmer, I mistakenly tried to squeeze the side, and I got no response.
Well,
I'm like,
hey, you can download Side Squeeze Plus. It's an app that's in in beta. Early release, and
does it work for every phone
works.
though, or just
yeah,
Samsung
it works.
phones?
Well, it works quite well for the Samsung. I assume it'll work for the 4A.
It should work for any phone that is sealed, and it may not work for the Pixel 4a because it does not have a water rating.
it hasn't got the water
rating.
IP.
It doesn't have that water resistance. So I'm not sure if that one has barometric sensors or like anything like that. But if it, you know what? Give it a go. Try it out. You know what? If it works, it works.
So what is it called? Side squeeze?
Side
Squeeze Plus. Just think of squeezing your squeeze. Just
beautiful squeeze.
Side Squeeze Plus, and it allows you to calibrate how hard you have to squeeze it. Blah blah blah. And once you calibrated it, you can do different things. So it doesn't just have to be Google. You can have 2 squeezes for start playing music, or 3 squeezes to check the weather, whatever.
The weather.
So you can have a number of different options. It's not just one squeeze fits all, so to speak.
And you don't even need to squeeze it. You can also remap hardware buttons with it.
Yeah, it's quite a good app actually.
I'll give it a try. See what I find out.
You can remap hardware buttons like volume keys and things. I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Anyway.
Yeah. And if you've got a Samsung, you can remap the Bixby button. If you don't like Bixby, you can
Yeah, man.
Make it do something
remap.
else.
Yeah.
Map.
Yeah. It's good for you.
The other thing that you were talking about, Nimmer, which has completely escaped my mind, but it's just come back into my mind, funnily enough, was weather apps. That's another one that we like to ponder on mailing lists. The weather app. Which is the best weather app? Now, Warren, can you tell me what the best weather app is?
Best weather app, probably the one on your phone. Just about every phone. Well, now seriously, I bought a few of those things, including
what, phones or weather apps?
AccuWeather. But I just kind of use the one that comes, my Google weather.
What's wrong with just saying, "Okay, Google, what's the temperature outside, people"?
And that's
For
what I'm
God's
saying.
sake, what's wrong with
So
that?
use the one on your
just do
phone,
it.
it works. And
Better yet, I hear there's an obesity problem in the United States. Why don't you just get up and walk outside?
Yeah, that usually works pretty well.
When you walk outside, you'll know. What
You'll soon know if it's warm or cold.
I don't,
But I don't know. Look,
yeah,
weather
but
apps.
people want to know if they need an umbrella or if they.
Okay, Google,
you know,
is it going to
something like
rain
that.
today? That usually
Yeah.
works pretty well. Although I have to say,
Yeah,
it's usually
sometimes
wrong.
Google
but-
will say, Google sometimes will say, hey, it's sunny, but actually, I've seen it here.
It's sunny
Well,
in
I-
It's cloudy out
Philadelphia.
there, so it's crazy.
I would love to have a weatherman's job because it's the only job you can be completely wrong and still keep your job.
I love it. Yeah. it's
Or if
after
you
all,
work
Well, I
in a
guess if you're a
forecast.
politician, that too. I
If you
guess,
work
but-
in a particular
Yeah.
city like Brisbane or probably somewhere like Florida where the temperature is pretty much the same for about 6 months of the year.
Yeah, then you get
just
up
vary
every
it
day
by a
for 15
degree.
minutes a day. You get
Yeah.
on TV, 15, 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
hot and 72. Then
Hot and
to the next
73.
day, hot and 73.
73, yeah.
Oh my!
It's a great job, eh? Scattered cloud, 74.
Partly sunny.
I don't know. I always I find that question kind of interesting
Now,
one.
frankly, let's just get something that works for you, or like we said, just use what you have on your phone. Yeah, most of the time-
Alexa, what's the weather forecast for tomorrow? I hope I set all your Alexas off with that. Beautiful.
Honestly, I think we don't have as good weather apps as exist on the iOS side, and we actually just lost Dark Sky, and that is a shame because that did used to be a pretty good app. Dark Sky did, and
Yeah, well, you lost it
but
because it became sunny. So,
yeah, well, we got it. We lost it because it went over to Fruitville.
oh.
Well,
Fruitville
they
bought
they hog-tied it. We don't want you guys on the Android side to get it.
But I
Yeah.
tell you what,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of these carrot weather. Whoa! We got somebody joined us.
Ooh,
Whoa, hello.
Suridam. I think you have to unmute them.
But wasn't there like there was some weather app that we posted a little while ago on the Anatad mailing list that's basically a re-engineered what is it, dark sky? I don't remember. I know I posted that thing, but I don't. You have
I think
to
you put that
download
up
it.
on the list. Yeah.
You've got to download the APK from the Telegram.
You've got to sideload it. Yeah, you've got
Yeah,
to sideload
so
the APK.
I don't remember the name of the app now. I think
No.
was it dark? It has a dark in it too, doesn't it? I just can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Hello,
sorry.
Sir10. How are you?
Yeah, hello, fan. Thank you.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
welcome.
Hey, welcome.
We're so happy to
Hey.
have you here.
Yes, thank you.
So, do you have a
Sir10.
question for us, or did you come here to hang out with us?
Okay.
Okay.
What would you like to
How about you
say to-
introduce yourself, my friend? Would you want to
Okay.
introduce
Well, this is a good
yourself
introduction.
to everybody?
This is where my silence eliminator will work beautifully.
Did we just lose him, or what happened?
Nope. So,
Nice,
Tim is still on.
Suridam,
Suridam. Do you want to introduce yourself? You're a special guest.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm Suratim from Indonesia.
Oh, yeah, good.
I am here is sometimes blind instructor for computer for the blinds, and I always speak regarding the accessibility apps in this area in my country, and I manage many groups of blind community in this country. So this is my first introducing to you all of you.
Very
awesome.
good. Welcome.
So
Welcome.
what
Thank
time
you for
is it
joining
there
us.
in Indonesia, my friend?
Is it this 11 a.m.?
No, that's
Wow.
the same time as it is in Swahili. Very good.
Yes, 11 a.m.
well, that's 3 hours behind us, so there you go. Very good.
11:20
Yeah,
a.m.
it's 2:20 here, so it's just
Ah.
before lunchtime, and it's after my lunch, sadly.
Yeah.
I'm a bit
Nice
hungry.
to meet you, Warren.
Hey, nice to meet you, my man. So, you feel free to come on anytime if you want to. We would love to have someone from another part of the of the world, join us and, update us, as to how things are going on in your area, most especially in your profession as a teacher or, someone that works with the blind people in your country. I think that's a good perspective to have.
Yes,
Yeah,
especially if they can demonstrate ZTE phones for us.
Nah, well, I think you guys have a bunch of, does Indonesia, I think they produce some other phones, don't they? Either Malaysia or one of those countries, I know they produce some of those phones out there too. I just don't remember the name of that phone, but there was one that I know for sure that was either from Indonesia or from Malaysia.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So, Suritim, are you an Android or an iOS user?
I'm on both. I'm using Android and iOS.
Okay, so what's your phone of choice with Android? Just out of interest, what phone do you use?
Yeah, because I am using both, and the many different accessibility issues on the devices, Android and iOS. I think sometimes when I am using the iOS gadget, for example, in the some apps and for WhatsApp, for examples, many issues uh, in the accessibility in Android. So I have written to the spot to whatsapp.com, but there's no response. There's no answer. So
Don't worry about that. There's never any response from WhatsApp. You're not alone,
yes,
my friend.
sometimes.
Believe you me, they will never respond. The likelihood of that happening is about as likely as me meeting up with Nimmer tomorrow in a pub in Melbourne. It ain't gonna happen.
So what phone are you using? Are you using a whiskey phone, or what kind of Android phone, or what kind of good phone? Which model? Samsung.
I have Samsung and LG.
Oh, LG. Oh,
Very
cool.
good.
Very good. Well,
Those
thank
are
you very
good
much
phones.
for coming
Those
on,
are
my
good
friend.
phones.
We really appreciate, and I presume you're a fairly new listener, are you? Have you been listening to the show for a while? Or are you a new listener?
Is this your first time of coming across us, or?
Yeah, this is the first time for me to join this podcast.
Very
brilliant.
good. Very
Oh,
good.
awesome. Well, share it around and let people know over there in Indonesia that we are around, and we will definitely be talking about accessibility on
Sure,
Android
sure.
and iOS.
I'll pass the information to the Indonesian blind community in Indonesia.
Yeah, let them know. That'd be great.
And again, Suratham, you need to, anytime you want to come on, just let us know, because we like to have updates from your end to see what's going on with you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Excellent.
All right, so let's
We're
move
so
to the
glad
next.
to have you here with us.
Another thing that people talk about or ask questions about, I think, has to do with messaging apps. But, frankly, again, most of those messages that or messaging apps that come with our phones, a lot of them work, straight out of the box. But, I'm being partial here. I kind of tend to like my Google messages, and that's a shameless fanboy. Marco, I know you have a Samsung device. Which one do you prefer, the Google messages or the Samsung
Oh, no, I
messages?
much prefer the Google messages. Absolutely. No, very much prefer the Google messages. It's a nice, simple product to use. The Samsung messages is fine too, but Google messages is pretty straightforward. So that would be my preference.
I think the biggest difference between them for me is the RCS.
Yeah. Well, we don't have that really here. But
Doesn't Samsung
yeah.
messages support RCS though? No.
They do, depending on which carrier and all that, but
Ah.
it's not tied in with the Google RCS.
So that could be a problem. Now, there's a friend of mine that says he
Well,
couldn't.
nobody uses RCS, so yeah, I guess it could be a problem, but it's kind of a joke. So I don't know.
A friend of mine has a Samsung messaging app, and he told me about something that just could not work for him. And it's a shame I
Bye
don't
bye,
remember
Sarah
what it is.
Tim.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
All right, bye, Sarah Tim. Thanks for coming on.
We don't have anybody else watching us on YouTube now, guys. We can say
Ooh,
whatever we want.
Wow.
Well,
that's
it's
a bit
kind of
scary.
gotten late.
Well, that is pretty.
No, it's still early in India.
Yeah. It's only
Oh, yeah,
11:26
well, but
in
maybe-
Indonesia.
Maybe they went to church. You never know.
They go to church in India.
Of course.
Now, did we want to
Some
talk
of them
about
do.
anything else, gents?
All right.
Whilst we're
Yeah.
here?
So the next thing, what do we want? We've talked about launchers. Numerous mentioned that. Yeah, basically, most
Yep,
of them are the
there's
same.
only one good launcher out there, ladies and gents, and that's Hyperion. Don't worry about anything else. Just download Hyperion, you'll be happy. Simple as that. Forget Nova. Forget whatever the other ones were that were mentioned. Hyperion works fine. It's a good launcher. It's excellent. That's what I think.
It is
anyway.
good.
I don't know. You can rattle off about 3 or 4 other launchers, but they're all pretty much the same. Oh, he's
Welcome back, Sarah Tim.
Excellent.
Sorry,
Somebody-
disconnected. Sorry, I'm sorry because disconnected.
It's okay. It must be that COVID-19 or something causing that issue.
COVID-19. Listen to him.
Sorry.
Probably Zoom got COVID.
Oh my!
Yeah, you don't want to get COVID on Zoom, I'll tell you. Imagine if you got COVID on Zoom, there would be... Oh, wow.
The whole world would have COVID. You see.
Yeah, well, we might be able to get out of lockdown a bit quicker if that happens.
I think it's different. The connection quality in the America and Indonesia. you are guys in America. It's a good connection, right?
I love it. I love it. No, actually, Sir, you sound really good. There's no lag.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh my!
I also want to know regarding.
Oh, did he disappear?
I also want to know bye.
Oh no!
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes.
Well,
This
if
connection
you
is
can
really
hear us, come back in because you wanted to know something regarding something.
Don't worry.
And-
He'll come in and drop in about a minute.
Oh my!
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Nah, that's fine.
There
he's
must
gonna
be a
back.
problem.
All right, so we were talking about messaging apps, guys. The Samsung
All right.
supports RCS on certain carriers, right, Nimmer?
I think I said that an hour ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. You
I
can use
know one thing-
Android messages or
Oh, hey.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
oh, there you go, my man. You're back.
I'm sorry.
What were we saying? Something about internet in
regarding
Australia and
something.
America being good.
that COVID must be getting worse.
I do sorry about that because I think it's my internet connection is.
Elon Musk, you ever heard that name? He's creating satellites. He's going to give everybody internet around the world, so that'll be helpful. I think.
El Fribo too, right?
I don't know if somebody's putting up
El
balloons. No, I don't think it'll
No,
be
no,
free. I don't know.
It's not going to be free, but at least you'll be able to have
I think it
decent
was
internet
Wednesday
everywhere.
that some of those satellites some of them went up. I think that was Wednesday. So it was successful. We're waiting to see what happens.
Well, there hasn't been
No,
that
Susan,
successful. I
you
haven't
may
seen any
soon-
go up around here.
You may
They're
soon
actually
have,
in they're beta testing. If you have a beta, they're in beta testing in the northern
You mean
US.
beta? Yeah.
Beta, yes, they're
Yeah,
beta,
beta.
testing. They're in maybe pizza testing. I don't know. They're in the northern U.S.
Well,
Yeah.
can you see if they can get some of those satellites up here in Melbourne, because we need better internet here.
yes,
'cause,
I'll get them up in Melbourne. Yes.
Get them in Melbourne and Indonesia, because
Indonesia, yes.
the internet is not good. So.
No good. Okay.
No, that's okay. At
No,
least
it's not
we
when
can
you
still
keep dropping
communicate,
out.
though.
I'm sure it's not that okay. Quite annoying.
Okay, now, Seraphim, you had a question, right? Because before you drop out again, you want to ask that question, or?
Yes, I would like to know regarding the latest.
Well, I'll be.
I think his government doesn't want him asking the question.
No. Okay, so here, guys, listen. I think this is what happens when he's
boy.
on for 3 minutes. Then it times him out. So, I've
That's a
kinda-
great
I've-
internet connection.
Yeah,
I
it times him out.
Charlie
after
Spy.
3 minutes.
yeah, very good.
Someone's listening into this conversation that shouldn't be.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every 3 minutes that he's on, I think his provider trying to save him money, whatever. I don't know.
Oh, I'm glad I took a gulp of that drink
Times
just
him
before
out.
that happened because it could have ended up anywhere. I'll tell you.
Wow.
Yay.
Anyway,
Oh, dear.
So we want to
Anyway,
talk about.
move on.
Let's see. What will we talk about? Apps. Well, we can't talk about
And
rated
deals.
X apps. Let's talk about. How about what? If you're listening to us on the live stream, what kind of apps do you want to know about? In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about. How about we talk a little bit about keyboards?
that's another good one. Keyboards.
We did chat about this briefly, I think, a few weeks ago, Gboard. So obviously that's undergoing some changes at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we
it's a
talked
good
about
one
that.
enough. A technical keyboard. What's the other one? Swift
Swifty.
keyboard.
Swift
Swifty.
and Swift Beta. Yeah.
What's another one? Swipe keyboard. It used to be accessible. I don't know if it is
Grammarly.
anymore.
Grammarly
Oh,
is
Grammarly,
another good one.
Yeah.
Grammarly keyboard.
Yeah.
Is that was that made by Grandma or?
I don't know.
Probably,
Maybe
it's
some
pretty slow.
English teacher somewhere, want to give us good grammar. You never know. We don't know
grammar.
how to
I thought it was
spell.
Grammarly.
For me, anyway, personally, I've always, I don't know, Swifty's not bad. I keep finding myself going back to Gboard though.
Yeah. Go back to
The
Gboard.
I
Swift key,
keep finding-
Microsoft has brought some
It's
new
okay.
stuff into Swift key. But the just like what we don't have access to in Gboard, the new addition they brought to Swift key is not accessible to us either. So it's just, I don't know.
Can you
It's-
dictate on that thing yet?
Oh yeah. Oh, it has always been. Yeah, you can.
Or has it? Oh, good.
You have to long press the comma.
Oh,
No.
Well, that's probably why it didn't work for me then.
No, Frank, give it another test. You may like it.
Maybe it doesn't work for people in New Zealand.
I
don't
get
know. I'm
very
surprised it works
frustrated
for
with
people
these
in
apps. If
Swahili.
I can't get them to work properly within 5 to 10 minutes, they go back home to mama.
Come on, man. You got to give it some more time than that.
It's
No.
like that one app what I told you, the Brave DNS. He goes and gets it. It doesn't work. Too bad.
Doesn't work.
Oh,
Go back home to mama.
Doesn't work. A little
That's a good
patience,
app,
my
that,
man. A little
Brave
patience.
DNS.
It is
is a-
actually. We
is a
should talk
good
about
app.
that Brave DNS because that is quite a cool app.
What does it
Nice
do?
little find.
I haven't heard of it.
Well, it's
Firewall,
like a
DNS,
VPN type thing.
VPN.
But it's all that does DNS, change your DNS or whatever. But the biggest feature of it, I think, is probably the firewall. And they're adding the ability to select multiple VPNs or VPN and
Yeah,
wherever
that'll
you
be
want,
good
but,
once they bring that in.
But at the moment, you can connect. It's using a VPN. It changes your DNS and makes it so it's a little bit more secure. But also does firewall. So if you don't want certain apps to connect, you can see there's a network log. It logs all the connections, all that. But then if you want, you can see what is connecting, what is not connecting. And it acts as a firewall, so you can say, "Oh no! I don't want this app, this dodgy thing like commentary, to be sending out all these packets to the internet." Hey, block
Well,
that
you
thing.
got to
That's
rub it
another good
in,
thing
Nimmer.
because
Don't
that's
rub
another
it
good
in.
thing because you can actually and like we were talking about the other day, Nimmer, you can have a look at the logs and actually see what's coming in and going out, which is very handy.
Yeah, some of
I
that
actually
stuff
think
will
that's one of the
surprise
best.
you. So
Yeah.
Is
it's
that
quite
from
interesting.
the guys from Brave browser?
there's actually a number of people working on it. I think
Yeah,
including like
Mozilla,
Firefox or something has donated
Mozilla's
to it.
working on it, and I think
Right now, it's a
Brave
very
and-
small
yeah.
team. There's just one or two guys. There's a Telegram group for it. There's one or two people I think working on it, but
From
there's a
each
number
department,
of places
yeah.
that have donated to it.
Yeah, it's quite a cool project, and
Well, that's interesting.
definitely developing. At the moment, if you use the VPN, it's pretty slow. I think they've probably got more people than what they expected
I'm sure.
using it initially. So
Yeah.
it is a little sluggish, but I would give it a chance. I think it'll definitely get better. So. it's
And
a
I
nice
think
little
probably depends on what country you're in or how far away you are from their servers
Yeah.
as to how good or bad it is.
And obviously
Here,
you
it's
can
not
pick,
so bad. It does slow down your speed some, but it's not so bad.
Yeah, you can pick the DNS that you want to go through as well, which is quite nice. It's just a nice, simple app. The thing
So
I like
does it
about
just
it, the thing I like
randomly
about it
assigns
over
you-
like something like Sophos. Now, Sophos is obviously a much more, rich app in terms of features, etc. But this is a very simple app. It's just laid out nicely. It has the information where you'd expect it to be, and it actually does give you quite good info. Especially if you're wondering, like Nima said, if you want to know if commentary is pinging those dodgy servers somewhere, you can definitely see whether it's pinging those dodgy servers, and I am here to tell you, it's pinging those dodgy servers.
Commentary
So-
does. Where is it pinging at?
I don't know, I didn't look up the IP, but I'd imagine it'd be somewhere near China, I'd say. That would just be what I think, but I could be wrong.
Oh, Marco, how are you cracking me up? Man?
Well, there were a couple of apps that I installed because they were pinging random things or had random requests, and I'm like, this app does not need to go out to the internet. I don't know why this app is going out to the internet.
Yeah.
So hey, you know what? Remove.
I actually found a couple of apps which I was very surprised about as well, Nima. One being a Google app, which I was like, why the hell is this bloody sending out stuff? I don't understand what's going on here, but anyway, that
Well, that I kind of understand. It's always
I
pulling
kind of-
down stuff,
yeah.
news articles,
Yeah.
weather, this, that. It's kind of always
it's
keeping
just
stuff in
interesting
the
though when you
background,
see, if you look through the logs and you see
But,
like
how
much stuff is actually going on your phone.
Marco,
It's quite,
if an app is pinging somewhere in Wuhan, then I'll be concerned.
you've got a few issues going on.
COVID. That's COVID's home.
Something might be coming home to Papa. That's what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
I love it.
But no, it's
coming home to
in,
Papa.
in all seriousness, though, as Nima said, it is a good app. It's very well laid out, and I would give it a chance. It's probably
I'm
not
gonna
going to
try
be.
it.
It's not the greatest VPN and stuff at the moment, but give it time. It'll get better, I'm sure.
Yeah, they have a
So
long
it's a
list of
Brave
features that they're
DNS.
looking to add, and you can always join their Telegram in their menu. There's an option to join their Telegram. You can
Yeah.
mute it, but at least you can occasionally look at messages.
You can look at
and-
the messages and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite cool. It's a good app. And the other one that's a good app, and I think we talked about it before, was the oh god, the name's gone out of my head now, and I mentioned
Skit.
it earlier.
Sophos.
I really like my
no.
skit.
Side. What's it called again, Nima?
So Side Squeeze Plus.
Side
Yeah,
Squeeze
yeah.
Plus. Now this is quite a decent app. Have you had a chance to play around with it, Nima, or not as yet?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you know
seems to work
exactly
for
how it
me.
works. So it allows you to calibrate.
I was the one
how
who
hard-
sent it to you. You know.
Yeah, but you hadn't played with it then, and you're
No, I
like,
hadn't
"Oh,
yet.
play with this app," and I went, "Oh, all right then." And I played
Well, the
with it.
reason I
actually
hadn't
liked
is
it.
because you need
Good
to
app.
allow it accessibility permissions, and I had to install it on a device that does not have a work profile in order to do that. Otherwise, yeah,
So
I
he
couldn't
sent
get
it over to
run.
Papa, and Papa played with it. Oof.
That's right.
What does Papa think of it?
Oh, I think it's an excellent app. I think it's got a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
potential. I actually have already bought. I've bought the upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, send it to
Support
this
the
Papa.
devs. Yeah, support the devs. No, it's a good app. It definitely does work. I'm still trying to decide. The sensitivity is a bit dodgy sometimes. I do find, and I'm not sure. I don't know. Sometimes if you just tap the side of the phone, it sets it off. You don't even have to really do much.
Ah,
It is
so it's-
going off. It's not using a sensor, so it is going
It's
off
not
the
using
pressure.
a sensor. Yeah, so sometimes even if you
reading.
just tap the side, if you don't squeeze your phone, you can actually activate it by just tapping the side of your phone, and that seems to
so it's like the good old side tab of the talkback that we used to have sometimes.
kind of.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just activating.
If you have a case, it might not work as well, so you
It-
might have to take that thing
yeah.
off.
I have found that you can
It'll
get it
work
to work
okay,
with a
but-
case, but you have to obviously put it on a much lower calibration thing. But then
Yep.
you do run the risk of it also going off quite a lot.
Yep, and
Oh,
your
But
weight
you know,
and
it's-
everything.
it's a nice idea that someone was able to come up with that, though. 'Cause
They
the
actually
Squeeze thing
tell
was,
you that when you're
HTC
driving, for
thing.
example, it might set it off because of your the weather
Turning
pressure
around, yeah.
changes. It has a pressure
Yeah.
inside your phone. It's using the pressure sensor. So
And even if you're driving, for example, and you have your phone in the, I don't know, on the
But that's a
armrest or
good
something,
app.
it might rattle around. But it's a good app. It does what it's
Yeah.
supposed to do, and for a few dollars,
it
support
gives
the
us
dev.
it gives us that side squeeze feature that is no longer on Pixel phone. So
I don't know why Google did that, but anyway, no, it's just software, wasn't it? I don't know what was
Yeah.
so special about it.
Well, it was a feature they didn't really need to get rid of. I don't know, but anyway. it's the way
well,
it
we've
goes.
talked about a number of apps. Do we have any more apps we want to talk about, or anything category of
I
apps?
think
or
that should be enough, right? What do you guys think? It's getting
for Anatad 50.
I think
long.
for Anatad 50, we've been going for an hour. Well, an hour and 41,
maybe
including
two
the
two
little
hours.
break.
You know, yeah.
No, we've
that's
only
okay.
been going for an hour. What do you mean?
An
We
hour.
started at 8:40.
So, I
Well,
don't know.
but this is a special episode,
Yeah. So,
so
we've been
we're
going
having
for an hour.
fun. It's okay.
Okay, let's go through emails since you guys want to drop out early. We have listener emails. Since you guys
Okay.
are lazy and you want to go
Let's
to
do it.
sleep.
No.
All right, I've got 3 emails. La 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 la.
Ooh,
Dysrhythmia. Hello, Dysrhythmia. Let's see.
that sounds like some sort of influenza or something.
What?
Hey there again,
It sounds more
guys.
like math to me.
Yes, you did say my name, right?
Yeah.
But if it's easier, most people call me Ash. Okay.
Ah,
Hello, Ash.
I love Ash. That's beautiful.
It's my middle initial. What? Ash is not a middle. Okay, it's a middle initial. Okay. All right.
The only part of dysrhythmia that's got an A in it is at the end, just saying. But anyway, let's keep going
Ash is
on.
an initial. Okay. Any road. All that aside, any road. Okay. All that aside, in answer to your question about the app, you'll find it straight away in the Play Store if you search Android messages. It just appears under the heading messages with a kind of subheading, if you like saying simple messaging by Google. On the watch, Subject Oppo released a new smartwatch last month, which looks like the Apple Watch
Yeah.
and has been dubbed the Android equivalent.
Don't buy it.
Although I am aware of some minor downsides, I see reviews on it which say it's the smoothest Wear OS-based watch. Could that be worth one investigating? If so, I'd be curious to hear your verdict if you do an unboxing of this device at some stage. I'm sorry my last message seemed long and confusing. I'm not always good at explaining things. Cheer, Ash. Okay, Ash. No, don't get the watch unless you want to get it for us to unbox and then we can tell you how good it is. I don't think Android Wear watches are really worth getting at this point, and I haven't seen anything that's just good. The best watch, if you really want to watch, you want to get the Samsung Watch 3. If you get any watch at all, and that is just because it has a lot of sensors that other watches don't have. The problem with those sensors aren't exactly accurate, according to a lot of reviews. But if you want an Android Wear watch, I would save your moolah or whatever it is. You know, if you want to get it, I guess it depends on your needs. If you want something to read your notifications, you'll probably be fine. But if you're looking for more things to do with it, save your moolah and buy something else.
You know what
Really?
I'm really disappointed with in the watches, Nim?
And what's that?
Is, the partnership with Fossil. Now, this has been sort of a discussion for about a year now, yet I still haven't seen anything come out. What is going on?
I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you that in the development world, sometimes these things take quite a long time, longer than you think that they'll take. And so once a product is in development or starts being worked on, that could take a year or two for you as a consumer to actually see any kind of
I might be a
progress.
fossil by the time it comes out. That's all I'm saying.
It's true, and I don't know that they're actually doing anything with it. I'm just saying, but I am saying, when these things happen, they take a lot of time.
I'm
these
actually quite
products,
excited
any kind
about
of a
the
Pixel
company.
phone or earbuds or any new product has probably been in development for over a year. There's probably already prototypes of the Pixel 6, to be honest.
Well, I really hope that
I don't
if this
know, but
product
I'm
does
sure that
come
there
out,
are. So
I really hope that if this product does come out, that we do get something that's an absolute awesome piece of kit.
Or maybe
because they
they're
promise a
waiting
lot.
for, 4100 chip. You never know.
I don't know what they're waiting for, but the chip isn't the problem as much as it is the lack of
The
accessibility.
lack of
and the lack of
accessibility is your
sensors.
issue. Yeah, and whether that thing's got a speaker on it, that's always useful.
The chip is actually fine. It's not, of course, it's not the greatest chip in the world, but it will do more than what you need it to do. But the problem is the watches don't have great sensors, and they're not built well, and they definitely don't have good accessibility.
Some of the Fossil watches are accessible, aren't they?
Well, they are accessible enough.
Some
but
of
they're
them
not.
are, except
But how
like the
much
sports
do you
ones.
want to do with your watch, Warren? Again,
mean,
if
you
you
could
want
buy-
your watch for just notifications, they'll be fine.
Oh no, I don't want something that's stupid.
But if you want to do more with it, then you're going to run into issues.
yeah,
And this is the problem, because the Samsung 3 watch does promise a lot, but as Nima said earlier, unfortunately, a lot of it doesn't seem to be very accurate. And also, to be perfectly frank, there hasn't really, if you look at the specs and stuff, there's no real update. There's not a huge amount of difference between the 2 and the 3. And
Nope. One
I
of
don't
my
know.
favorite, well, except the new sensors, but one of my favorite
yeah, that don't
features
work.
on the watch that I actually fell in love with on the Apple Watch side is the ability to navigate. When you're in navigation mode, when you're walking around or driving around, if there's a direction, your watch will tap you on your wrist and provide that direction to you.
that's cool. Yeah, that is very cool.
that's really neat.
They didn't take it far enough, I think, and I haven't seen the latest updates, so I could be wrong, but they haven't taken it far enough in that it doesn't give you a single tap to go right and two taps to go left or something like that. But it's still a good enough way, it's still good enough to navigate, and it does tell you the directions and things like that. They also have the ability to tell the time using vibrations and haptics.
Now, that I like a lot.
Now, the Samsung Watch lets you do that, but neither the Samsung Watch nor the Google Wear OS watches have accessible maps, as far as I've seen. And so my favorite feature of the watch, the reason that I would look to get a watch, at least for me, would be the navigation. And that's one feature you cannot use on an Android Wear watch. The health tracking, depending on the app that you use, may be okay, but again, they lack sensors other than the Watch 3. They lack a lot of sensors, so you're not getting much more than you already get
The
from your
fitness
phone.
stuff on the Android watches, to be perfectly frank, is not great.
Yeah, you're better off getting
average.
really an armband like a Fitbit that has more sensors or something.
I mean, if you're wanting to do
don't
the
know.
fitness stuff, you might as well get a Fitbit and be done with it.
And
I'm
as
the
for
same
your
as-
Android messages, I think we had an email from you last week about Android messages, something about how you didn't have to swipe twice. Yeah, that's interesting. Most of us do, so who knows? I'm not sure what to tell you about that one.
Yeah.
All right, Gregory Nowak, he sent us an email. Gregory, for some reason, your messages went to our spam folder, so I had to dig that up. But anyway, I did see it. Let's see. What did you say here? Hello, Anatad Podcast team. In episode 49. Oh, good. This wasn't that long ago. All right. In episode 49 of the podcast, you mentioned that Nokia phones required setting up a Nokia account. When I set up my Nokia 9 phone in late November 2019, I was not required to also create a Nokia account. I don't know if this has changed since that time, or if Nokia requires creating a Nokia account during the setup of some phones, but not other phones. The Nokia 9 is part of the Android One program, and the experience seems to be very much stock Android. Thanks. Yep, Android One is pretty much stock. Now, you're never required to create these accounts with any of these companies. You're not even required to create a Samsung account. You're not required to create a OnePlus account. It does give you the option to, and you may get one or two or three features if you do, but nothing is forcing you to create those accounts at all. So,
But I think what he's saying though is that, unlike Samsung, that it will show up during the setup. You're not seeing that with the Nokia phone, and I think he's right, because my kids have a couple of those, and I don't remember that there was anything about a Nokia account.
Yeah, well, I mentioned this last week on the podcast. I don't believe that you necessarily do have to do an account.
I've had a Nokia 6.1 and a Nokia 8, and both of them did have an account set up that you could set up. Of course, you could easily skip past it. You didn't have to set it up or do anything with it. But on the Nokia 6.1 that I have had and the Nokia 8 that I've also had, you did, well, again, you didn't have to do it, but it certainly did ask you to create an account. So
I would really like to like a Nokia phone.
It could be account specific,
really
maybe not. I don't know.
I really would like to like a Nokia phone, but just.
What don't you like about them, Marco?
They're just they're good in some ways. Some of them are okay. Some of them have the fingerprint thing in a very odd spot. They're just an okay phone.
Tend to be garbage specs for a very high price.
Not very good specs for what you're paying. You know, like they could
not
be so much better.
The thing that I don't like about them is they kind of overpriced. You know,
that's what I'm saying. They're quite expensive for what you get.
The chip is not the greatest, but yet you're asking for $400 or $300 for, I don't know. But Nokia has always been like that. You notice that?
Yeah,
they're like Sony, they tend to be like that. They think everybody's dying for them.
Yeah. Sony tends to be a lot more exy, though. I can tell you now. Here in Australia, they're ridiculous. You're not paying much less than what you get a Samsung for. It's crazy.
David Miller, he wrote to us. He says, "Hello, guys. The insanity of life means that I missed the last 2 podcasts. Well, that's disappointing.
Well, you better watch them because we're looking for more viewership from America.
Got them on archive. Haven't been able to listen to them. Okay, all right. I have 2 questions. This first one is for Marco. You've got a Samsung Galaxy S10 series, I believe. Is it possible to root the S10?
Yes. Next question.
Second question for all of you. I got a new phone and a tablet and got them around the same time. Both are Samsung Galaxy models. One the S10, the other the Tab A. Please substitute any phone/tablet or phone/phone you'd like for the purposes of this question. I got a bunch of apps installed on my S10. Full disclosure, about 272. Got the frequently used configured, just how I'd like them. What I'd like to do is get them over to the tablet, substitute another phone if you'd like, including the data and configuration settings. Basically, I've configured the apps once. Can I back them up and restore them in such a way so that I don't have to go through and configure them all up again?
Well, if he's using 2 Samsung phones, it's a very easy process, as you would know, Nemo. You'd get that good old Samsung smart switch happening, my friend. That'll work quite nicely for you, I'd imagine. Do a bit of a Google backup, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it will certainly back up your apps. Now, if you want all the apps data and the logins and everything to be restored, there's simply not a great way to do that and actually guarantee that will happen.
No.
You can titanium backup.
Not even with the smart switch.
You could use Drop Sync or Google Sync, but they're not bad. But you can't guarantee it's going to work. That's the problem.
No, there's nothing that guarantees that every single setting that you had of an app is going to get restored. The problem is any update that you get from the last time you backed up could break that. Any kind of login or anything like that may not auto log you in. Some apps may, but most of them will not auto log you in again. There's a lot of issues. There's a number of issues with this, so
and
you're going to still have to do
where
a little bit of setting up. But
frankly, this is where, unfortunately, Android, if you've got an iOS device, you will definitely get a far better experience in restoring.
I don't know. I tend to see this in iOS too, actually. When you do a backup in iOS, you still get... The backups tend to be a bit better, but you still have to set up a lot of your apps again. Your app data, some of it is restored, but a lot of apps you still have to log back in. You still have to, some of the settings won't apply, won't stick. So the Apple apps maybe, but you're still going to run into this on any platform. It's not really a great way to do this.
If you do have the, because if you have something that manages like your passwords, because sometimes what happens is that apps that require password, and then you restore them, and you of course you need to put that password again. But if you, like for me, some of the apps that I let Google store my passwords, once I start typing my email address in, it pops it up, and I just tap on that and it fills it out for me. So
Sure, you can use a password manager.
can
I
use a
recommend a
password
proper
less
password
painful.
manager rather than Google's whatever it is. But yeah, you can use a password manager that will save you a bit of time.
yeah.
But that's still not setting everything up.
But just
No.
keep in
what
mind,
you're
though,
asking
and
for is
I think it's David. Just keep in mind, obviously, that if you are setting it up on a new device, like for example, if you've got a whole bunch of WhatsApp chats, you're going to lose all the data and stuff from that. So you can back all of that stuff up. So you just have to go through your mind what you've got on your phone and what you need backed up. So if you've got messages that you want to be keeping, I mean, that usually works when you restore. But
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of stuff that you've got to think about. Your
if you
WhatsApp
root, you
stuff,
can
if
get pretty much a complete
Yeah.
image of your device
can.
with something like titanium backup.
Yep.
But even once you restore that, a lot of your you try to click on your apps, and they'll probably still ask you to log in. Or again, depending if you create your image after every time an app gets updated, you'll probably be fine. But as soon as an app gets updated, then
The other thing that you've also got to consider, Nimmer, is that if you do an image, if you do root a device, or even if you don't, but if you do take a whole bunch of apps with Titanium or Drop Sync or Google Sync, whichever one you want to use, if you've got issues already
you're imaging
on your
those issues
device,
again.
you're
Yep.
imaging those issues back to your second
That's
device.
true.
So sometimes,
And if you're using a different device from the one that you've backed up, there may be system files and things that you've imaged that you actually would not want to transfer over. So,
yeah, it's one of those things that you've got to kind of think, well, am I having problems with my phone at the moment? If the answer is yes, then you're probably just better off just backing up and restoring from Google or from Samsung Switch. And
yeah,
if
you'll
you
get
lose
most
stuff,
things
you'll
back. You'll get your
most things
files back. You'll get most
Yeah.
things back. But you're not going to get fully set up again. You'll have to do a little bit of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's if you're lucky. And if you're not lucky, then you'll have to set up your folders and
You'll have to
everything
do a
else
lot of
all
work.
over again. So.
Yeah. It's a bit
And that
hit
is
and
where
miss.
iOS is better, because I've never not gotten lucky on iOS.
No.
Whereas
So
I've
see,
not
like-
gotten
like I-
lucky on Android a few times.
Yeah,
I
on
restored
iOS
my-
at least, if you restore, you generally, well, I've never had an issue in terms of everything coming back, and
Yep.
it's usually pretty good.
I set up my Pixel 4a today, and I chose to restore. I didn't want to restore from my Pixel 4, so I said, let's restore from my Pixel 2 XL. And my gosh, there was a lot of apps, like 400 something apps. Oh my
Oh, wow, I
gosh.
wouldn't have bothered restoring from that far back. Sheesh.
And
Yeah,
they all came through with all the folders. I was surprised, and I sat here, I just kind of got rid of a bunch of that crap that I no longer use. Just unbelievable.
Now, on the other issue, I did sort of answer that pretty quickly. Yes, you can root a Samsung. It's actually quite easy to do it these days, isn't it, Nemo? I'm not the rooting specialist on these things, but I believe it's a lot easier now. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not
obviously
too
you gotta-
difficult, but it sort of
Yeah.
depends on how locked your device is and
Yeah.
if it's locked to a carrier, that kind of thing. But no, it's not too difficult to root a Samsung device.
And just keep in mind, again, if you do lose things by rooting a device, like it's not just a simple process of, I'm going to be able to open up my device and get rid of the bloatware, if that's what you're thinking of
Yeah,
doing.
go back and listen to rooting and romming, and
Yeah,
and that way
it's
we
worth
don't have
having
to
a listen to
babble
Rooting
on
and
about it.
Robbing. Yeah, definitely. Which I think was about episode 42 or somewhere around there.
Whatever it was, go listen to it.
Go
That way
listen
we
to
won't have
Rooting and Robbing,
babble.
because there's a lot of good information in there that'll cover this topic for you. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So jump into that archive of yours that you have, Dave, and take a listen to that particular episode. It'll help
Now,
you
did we
out.
have another email there, Nimmer? I think you said you had a...
Nope.
No,
I think
that's
that was it.
All right.
That is it.
Well,
Well,
Nimmer,
guys,
before we close the show, I'm just going to remind listeners really quickly that we do appreciate the fact that you are out there. Obviously, over the last few weeks, we've definitely had an increase in traffic, which is wonderful. We've surpassed 2,000 downloads for, I think it was just over a month, wasn't it, Nimmer? About
Yep.
yeah, it was about 5 weeks, I think we got 2,000 downloads. So definitely getting out there. We appreciate you listening, and we certainly do appreciate, and I have noticed a few of you sharing the show out on Facebook, so please continue to do that. Please continue to like the videos on YouTube and sharing and tweeting, as Nimmer puts it, on Twitter. We really do appreciate you getting the word out there.
Put it up on Snackchat and Instagrams and all these Teddygrams and whatever else.
Pop it up on wherever you like. But we definitely appreciate you guys being there and listening to what we have to say every week. So,
and we'll get back to being a little more, serious next week, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll see.
Well, this was a fun, fun podcast.
We're very glad to have you along for 50 episodes, and we like to thank you guys for being around. And we'll see you all next week, hopefully on time.
Well, we definitely will, Nimmer. There will not be an issue next week. I'm going to put my put it out there that we'll be on time next week. And Warren, it's been a pleasure working with you over the last few months, and catch you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's see. How can we end the stream? Do I have the ability to... Am I the admin?
Oh, no, I think... God, what's going on now? Oh, no, I think I've got to do
it. I think you are the admin. Oh, nope. No, Marco. Wow.
Marco is at the moment. Marco's the host. Marco, kill off the stream.
Marco?
This is going to be one interesting YouTube video.
Can you tell the YouTube
can we just not do it this way next
goodbye?
Time? This is so annoying.
What's annoying?